Welcome to Impact Farming, where we introduce you to the people and ideas that will have a massive impact on your farming operation. Brought to you by Farm Marketer. Sit down, start the engine, and let's roll with today's show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Impact Farming Show. We are mid-March as this goes live. And can I just say March Madness? And I don't mean shopping deals. I mean madness around the world, politically. Trade wars, tariff wars. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this in my life. And I'm not sure that any of us have. In the past, when there has been talks about changing trade deals, it's been structured, it's been at certain times, but this is absolute chaos. And I know there are a lot of farmers feeling great fear, doubt, uncertainty, and literal chaos right now. And if that's you, you're not alone. I can imagine we all know that we're not alone right now. This is absolute madness. And me over here on the Impact Farming Show, I am just trying to keep my head down and create good, strong content that will impact you and your farming operation. So, enough about me. How are you? How are you really? Oh my goodness, eh? Unbelievable. On the show lately, I have been putting out a lot of transition planning episodes, as you know. We've done a few on fair and equal, which seems to be the big elephant in the room. I've done wills and trusts. I've done 2 videos about farm legacy media and 2 individuals that help farmers capture their farm family legacy by recording the farm founders, sharing stories. And the neat thing is both Maggie and Vance share that when farm founders are in the situation, when they start to share the stories of the farm, the hard times that the farm has gone through, previous generations and themselves, and the good times, it seems to help open up the conversation for transition planning. So some really neat episodes this spring, and we will continue on, but I want to connect and see how you are enjoying the episodes and really connect and see how you're doing. My goodness. Hold on, hold tight. As they say, this too shall pass. And one day it will be a distant memory and we'll be back to hopefully more even keeled energy again and not this day-to-day chaos between all the countries and the tit for tat trade war that we're in and tariff war. So I'm keeping my head down. I'm trying to find the best guests to continue to bring you the episodes so that you can learn and really dig into transition planning. And I know a lot of people out there, founders, will be like, heck, who cares? I'm trying to figure out what is going on in this world, what to plant, what we need to do to survive right now. And then there's a lot of Gen 2 that are feeling the chaos and are still concerned about the transition planning conversation. So I'm keeping my head down, doing my thing, and hopefully bringing you some really strong episodes to help you get into that transition planning mind space. I know one of the big things that have always helped me when I have been in doubt and uncertainty through my entrepreneurship journey building Farm Marketer, one of the independent egg media companies. One of the big things that has always helped me is learning. You don't know what to do? Find something to learn. And 2 things. One, it'll usually bring you the next step that you need to dig into, learn, or act on. Or if nothing else, it gives you the feeling that you are in control and really taking a positive step towards your future. Even if you're headed into seeding on your farm or spring calving on your farm, and it is the peak busy time and the transition planning conversation has been tabled yet again, Instead of spinning your wheels and feeling stuck, grabbing a book and learning about transition planning, what you need to know, what the steps are, different things you should be doing to prepare as Gen 2 or farm founders. If nothing else, the feeling of learning and taking action within yourself and your farming operation or your family gives you a feeling of being empowered in a time that is disempowering and chaotic. That is what I found. So I'm really just keeping my head down and, like I said, trying to bring you people, ideas, resources, books that will help you on your farming operation. Okay. So I've covered the episodes that we've done lately. And one of the things I wanted to talk to you about is a few of the things that I have summarized to be the main concerns when it comes to farm founders and what they are concerned about and what holds them up. So I've really been reading a lot of books, studying a lot of articles, speaking to a lot of the brightest minds on transition planning. And here are the 5 things that seem to be reoccurring themes and problems that get each and every farm founder stuck. Might not be all of them, it might be all of them, and it might be one or another at different times. But it seems to come down to these 5 things. And if you're a farm founder, hearing it, you might go, oh, I'm not alone. If you are Gen 2 and wondering why farm founders don't want to talk about it, here's the secret. There's 5 things they're likely concerned about. So number 1 seems to be that conversation about fair and equal. They don't know what to do. They want the farm to continue on, but they also don't want the non-farming children to be treated unfairly. They don't know how to handle it. They don't know where to look for advice or information or solutions. So they just remain stuck. Fair and equal, number 1. Number 2, financial concerns for themselves as the farm founders and how they will care for themselves in retirement. And then we look at in senior care, assisted living. How are they going to be able to afford to live when they retire? They don't see the answer. If they transition out of the farm, where is their income coming from? That is number 2, financial concerns for themselves. Number 3, who takes the lead in succession? Is it farm founder dad, farm founder mom? Is it one of the kids? Is it the farming kid? Is it non-farming kid? Who is going to take the lead? And when I interviewed Heather Venengay, and she wrote this fantastic book. I've done a book review about it, and I've done, I think, 3 interviews with her. She said it is often farm founder mom that takes the lead. Dad is busy. Dad may not want to deal with it. He just wants to get out, deal with the farm, and not be worried about it. It seems to be one of those things, right? Mom is worried about harmony. She's worried about all the children. She doesn't like the elephant in the room. So Heather says it's often farm founder mom that takes the lead. And depending on the dynamics in the founder relationship, that may be uncomfortable. Is this something she wants to put forward to farm founder dad? So I could talk about a lot of things on that one. Big can of worms, but we're dealing with different generations, different personalities, different dynamics between moms and dads and founders between the different generations, right? So those are one of the things. Mom wants to deal with it. Maybe farm founder dad doesn't. And this is stereotypical, but quite common still in the founder generation, the boomer generation. So if it doesn't apply to your farm, don't worry about it. Just move on past that one. But I know a lot of farms are still stuck in those dynamics. So Who takes the lead in succession planning? That is the third concern. Number 4, how does it all work? You know what? Just the thought of, okay, we want the farm to go to the farming child, and he needs the land and the animals to make it work. But then if farm founder or the farm child needs the land and the animals or the land and the grain assets, how do we give to the non-farming children? So they don't quite understand. And who does? Most of us, if ever, we go through transition planning once in our lifetime. And it's different now than when it was when our parents transitioned into the farm lead role, right? So, number 4, how does it all work? And to be honest, there's a lot of information out there, but it's really piecemeal and contradictory. And when you can actually sit down, how much progress can farm founder mom and dad make in figuring out how this works? And that is where financial coaches, consultants, succession, transition planning coaches, that's where they come in. They're like the coach. They understand what needs to be done. They understand solutions for fair and equal. And that's where they come in. And number 5 is how to make this happen. If we can figure out how it all works on our own, we now need to sit down and make it work, right? We need to do the actual transition planning activities with the lawyers, the accountants, the planners, all the professionals that are out there. So that is a lot on top of all the demands of farming, of daily life. We know how it is on the farm. It is busy. So if you are wondering what keeps farm founders up at night, it is those 5 things: fair and equal, financial concerns for their retirement, who takes the lead in succession planning, how does it all work, and then making it all come together. So I want to touch on that because I know sometimes when we hear that we are not alone in our fears, our concerns, our worries, it really helps lighten the load, right? When we're sitting there on our farming operation, if we're farm founder mom or dad, or we're the farming child, or we are the in-law, we all have our own thoughts, fears, concern, relationship dynamics, right? So we're all sitting in our own world trying to make progress, right? And in the transition planning, there are the farm founders and then the next generation that want to take over, the non-farming children, the spouses. So it's not an easy topic. So one of the things that I have done is compiled a resource. And yes, call me a geek. But I know that readers are leaders. And most importantly, like I said when I started this episode, if you don't know what to do and you are chasing yourself in circles on transition planning because you don't have control of the conversation or you don't know where to start, learning is the best spot, right? Start learning. Become a resource in yourself. Learn about all the ins and outs of transition planning, the questions to ask, who do you need on your team, and then seek professional help once you know a little bit more, right? Equip yourself with knowledge and then find an expert to help you to put together a team to make it happen. But in the meantime, I find there is nothing more frustrating than chasing yourself round and round in circles and not finding answers. Books have answers, and the great thing, as we sit in March 2025, there are more books now on transition planning for agriculture than there ever has been. Pardon me. And I've interviewed a few of them, and I'm working my way through to try and interview them all. But in the meantime, in late winter of 2024, I was asked to record a live episode of the Impact Farming Show where I interviewed two farm families in Prince Edward Island about their transition planning journey. And it was really great. I had a chance to ask them questions, but I didn't want the audience of young farmers to leave without a takeaway. We all know how that is, right? We go to a conference, we feel motivated, we might have an answer in that moment, or often you just go to these events and you might even leave feeling frustrated, because the problem with transition planning, nobody can stand up there and say, here is the black and white plan on how to hand your farm down, because there's so many variables. The area you farm in, the level of debt that is on the farming operation, how many farming children, how many non-farming children. There's so many variables that it's absolutely frustrating. And I know when I first went to my first couple conferences, when I started the Impact Farming Show, I'm like, okay, they're going to tell us how to do this, and I'm going to learn, and then I'm going to bring these guests on the show, and we're going to provide a roadmap. And I quickly got frustrated because nobody could give answers. I'm like, well, are they gatekeeping? But it is not that. It's just there's so many different variables. And back 7 years ago, there weren't that many books. And the information on transition planning wasn't as organized. And I would say it still isn't. If you follow somebody that you have found that's a speaker about transition planning and you go to their website, you can find articles, you can do a search and find agriculture publications that put out articles on transition planning, but nobody kind of tries to bring it all together. And I am just like a doer. Let's get this done. Let's pull it together. So I put together a free ebook. I put this together for the Future of Farming conference in Prince Edward Island that I just mentioned. I didn't want those farm kids. It was all a room of fairly young farmers that worked with their parents, wanted to take over the farm, and they were there to try and figure it out. And I didn't want them to leave feeling frustrated, as so many people do. What next? You get all pumped up. You see your farming friends from your community. You're like, okay, we're going to do this. And then you get home, reality hits, the conversation's not happening. You don't even know how to start it. You don't know what to do. So I put this book together, this little ebook, and you can go to www.farmmarketer.com, go to the Impact Farming tab, go down the side, and I think it's free resources. You can find this book here. You just need to put your name and email address in there, and then it will be sent to you immediately. And in there, I go through and list, I don't have all the books physically, but I have some at my home office as well. But all these books here are listed in here, and even more. So the front part of it is full page summaries about books that I have read, authors that I have interviewed. And then towards the back, I've put some resources together, some maybe online articles I've found, some courses, some different things that I found that are handy. It is by no means all encompassing. And if you have a book or an article or an individual that has helped you with transition planning, shoot me an email, drop a note in the comment, and I will add it to this document. I'm trying to bring it together, right? So that somebody that is looking to learn about transition planning can open a document up, read through it and go, oh, hey, that book looks interesting. Why don't I go onto Amazon? Hold on here. Why don't I go down to Amazon and buy this book and start reading and learning so I know what to do, right? So go over to www. I'm forgetting my own website. www.farmmarketer.com. Thank you. It's been a long day of recording episodes. And like I said, Impact Farming Show to the bottom, free resources. You can enter your name, email address, and then you will get this ebook. I am so excited that we put this together. I think it's a great resource for the industry. And if nothing else, in these chaotic times when it feels like everything is out of our control, everything is so uncertain, I always go back to grounding, focusing on what we can control. And to me, that's always reading, learning, empowering myself, keeping my peace, right? Not watching the news every 5 minutes because that will drive you absolutely batty, especially nowadays. But really just digging in and becoming knowledgeable on the subject of transition planning. If you are Gen 2 and you want to take over the farm, this is your future, right? So there is nobody that wants it more than you do, that's more concerned about the future of the farm than you. Knowledge is power. I'm so excited that we have that ebook put together for you. And again, how are you doing? I would love to know. Drop me a note in the notes of social media, YouTube, wherever you are listening, watching. I would love to hear from you. I'd love to know what's going on your farm. And most importantly, I hope you are doing okay. Hang in there. This too shall pass. I love that one. And it gives me peace in these times of chaos. So again, head over to farmmarketer.com, download that ebook, and I will see you in the next episode of the Impact Farming Show. Take care. See you next time. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Impact Farming. For more great episodes and articles designed to help you manage and grow your farming operation, head on over to farmmarketer.com. Don't forget to sign up while you're there. We will see you on the next episode.